So, Logan comes out, like, now, and this video was meant to come out quite a bit earlier, but Windows Movie Maker decided not to make Spider-Man work when I wanted it to. But hey, here's a review for Wolverine, for Logan. It's now. The Wolverine is meaningless. Why? Because the next year they just erased it from the timeline. Great. Anyway, it was made in 2013 by 20th Century Fox and was directed by James Mangold, written by Mark Bombach and Scott Frank, and stars Hugh Jackman, Tao Okamoto, Rila Fukushima, Hiroyuki Sanada, Svetlana Kodchenkova, and Brian T. and Hal Yamanouchi. Sorry for butchering your names, talented cast. But anyway, so what do I think of this film? Well, as I said, from the fact that it literally got erased from the timeline a year later, that should be some indication on my thought of the film. I don't like it. And I'll start off with direction. It's pretty well directed. I like all the cinematography and colour palette, although it is pretty bland and generic. And I like seeing what's happened to Wolverine since. Until he goes randomly to Japan. And that really is just a random tonal thing in there, which I just don't get why. Obviously, this film is a gigantic step back from Wolverine Origins, but it still has a lot of the same problems. One of the main issues I have is the story. So, Wolverine saved a person, and now he wants to live forever, but Wolverine apparently doesn't, so he makes this giant Transformer suit and gets this mutant lady to take his powers using a little spider, and then he's looking for someone named Mariko, but there's another guy hunting them and another assassin and Yukio. I don't know, this is a complete mess. Like, you know in Red Letter Media's Phantom Menace review, you know how one thing they brought up is there was a segment where they had various people interviewed about the characters of the Star Wars films, to describe the character, not their job, not their appearance, nothing about that, just who they are as a person. I reckon that nearly all of the characters from this film have no discernible character, except for one, in my opinion, which is Wolverine. One thing, however, that I am quite grateful for is it does actually give stakes to the characters this time. In Wolverine Origins, my three main problems is it was a prequel, so we knew he was gonna live. He is unkillable already, and there really isn't anything interesting about his character because of poorly written dialogue. The Wolverine, however, improves upon this. Yes, he's immortal in this film, however, it's set after all the films, so we don't know if he'll live, and also they take away that immortality level through most of it. But then for some reason, for the finale, he gets it back, so we're back to square one. He doesn't really have any particular good character dialogue or treatment or gimmicks in this film, but there is quite an interesting subplot between Logan and Jean Grey. Let's talk about action, because I know there are people who watch films entirely for action. That's one of the better parts of this film, and there's tension throughout that action for one of the characters. All the others, I think, are just really bland and underdeveloped, unfortunately. Then there's the villains. Oh, God. First off, we have this Asian archer bounty hunter guy who's never established, and I thought there was a twist coming about him. Turns out that wasn't, he was really just that bland, and then we're supposed to care when something happens to him. Then there's Viper, who is really, yeah, Viper's weird. She puts, like, a robot spider in Wolverine for some reason. Like, she just doesn't have any motivation for it. Silver Samurai is the one who has motivation. However, the way he does it is he becomes a giant robot and tries to cut off Wolverine's claws and somehow take out his factor through his claws. This makes no sense. It really doesn't. And to those who say it is a Wolverine film, how? In your ideal Wolverine film, does he fly on top of trains,
What they did to
go
me.
alone in wilderness, then randomly go to Japan where he fights Transformer robots and underdeveloped female characters? I'm sorry.
Be so sure.
This is not one I want to see with Wolverine. In fact, a lot of the film is just spent with him on the run with some boring character. I will say this though, it is a pretty creative looking film. I certainly do like a lot of the visuals and ideas it has. Some of the editing and camera work is good, however, in action scenes it can be a bit grating at times. But hey, I'm fine with that. But yeah, that's practically all I have to say about the Wolverine. So in conclusion, for some reason, the third act is a complete mess, by the way. I didn't even know what was going on in the third act because of how weird it was done. So my thoughts on the Wolverine. It attempts to give him stakes for the first two acts, but then completely loses those stakes. It's pretty nicely shot and directed and edited, however, it's not really that well shot, directed, and edited. It's just like a solid pass, like most of the MCU films get. There are a lot of things that I feel are going to be left as reveals, but turn out not to be. It really is just that poorly written and confusing of a film. The third act is an utter mess, the villains are really underdeveloped, there are no interesting characters other than Wolverine in my opinion. Some of the action scenes are pretty entertaining and good to watch, however they do go really goofy at points. Mainly spiders inside your heart. That's what I'll say about the Wolverine. A lot of parts of it are fine, but it just has a lack of any interesting characters or anything to care about. The Wolverine gets a 4 out of 10. And with that said, guys, I will end the video here. Let me know what you think of the film down in the comments. And with that said, I'm going to end this video here. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Check out my Twitter at MrChicken4321. And also check out my gaming channel, MrChicken167. And as I said, if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, like, and comment. And I will see you guys later. Bye-bye.